Well, good afternoon. It looks like we are live. It is good to see all of you. Welcome back to the workshop of Wood Spun Around. I'm Doug, and as I said in the title, we're going to turn something green today. I wasn't sure what it was going to be. It could have been sycamore, but it also could be this real nice piece of. I clicked the right button. Well, we don't want that button. Hold on. There we go. Shoo. Anyway, now I'm not repeating myself. Okay, this is kind of hard to tell from that angle. This is a piece of
Well, the
walnut. There's the
picture
starts.
didn't change.
Picture didn't change.
We're looking at it from the tailstock end.
Yes, yes, that's where
Okay.
I wanted you.
Okay.
You see the heartwood here. That gives you a little bit of clue. You see all this broad white. That's sapwood, except that it's really not that broad because I've turned it just a little bit just to start getting it in balance. This is a piece of American black walnut. So and then I want to go up here now, and you can see that nice dark heartwood. That white line is where we're going to turn the top down to. This is the pith right here where my thumbnail is, and as you can see, it's typical walnut. That pith is not necessarily hollow, but it's virtually hollow. But this was a young tree growing in the shadows on the edge of the woods. Don't have the pith on this end, just by stroke of luck. But we're still going to turn down to that white line, uh, get it all nice and done. I have knocked the corners off. I started the bottom so I could get all the bark off of it. I did find a grub right there is where he was, and he's gone now. We evicted him somewhere in the shavings. He's got plenty of food for now. So I'm going to get to turning on this and let one of these guys tell us who all's in the chat, and we can talk more about the bowl and the wood and all of that as we go. So let's get going.
I'll do it. So we have Paul Hunter in there and Ruby, Jennifer's Craft Creations, Roger Wallum, Michael McEwen, Malcolm Douglas. Was Alex Wurzel the wood butcher in there? Um, Dale, Old Man River wood turner. Todd at Glen Cove. Another Todd in the house. Say Todd. Let's see. Albert Dawson. Al's in here. Hello, Al. Gerald Avery
No.
is in.
Did you get Al Dawson?
I got a refresh. Al Dawson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Anthony Green
Hmm.
is in. Mike Evans says hello. Good evening, Doug. Lucy is in.
Sweet potato.
You've also got
Wivey
Michael McEwen.
Woodshed.
Okay, you've got Michael
I mentioned him
McEwen.
earlier.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, no, we're all good. I think I've named everybody I saw.
If he
Nice wide
didn't,
shavings coming off.
Ronald,
welcome everybody.
Absolutely. Welcome. It's good to have all of you.
yeah.
For those of you who have been keeping up, we got our son married off. They are now in South Georgia enjoying their honeymoon. They'll be there for a couple of days, and then they're going to Disney for a couple of days. And so they're just having a grand time.
I think Disney is a fun destination for a honeymoon.
Sure, sure. It was real interesting. They started talking about honeymoon together and where they wanted to go. They were talking about beach and some mid to South Florida kind of destinations. And her mom says, we've got all these Disney points. If y'all want them, we'll be glad to give them to you because your dad doesn't want to go back to Disney ever. And so they said, we'll take that.
I would think so.
Yeah. So yeah, they're spending 4 days at Disney for very, very little. Just going ahead and get my tenon set here.
We were lucky when the kids were young in that we had a cousin that worked at Disney. And he'd just meet us at the gate, swipe us in, give us some little card that gave us strollers and whatnot for free.
There
And we
you
just
go.
went about our way.
Yeah.
It was a really cool ordeal.
Yeah. The last time we went, Christopher was very young, and we camped out. Had a pretty good time. I think that was the last time. We went one time and camped out. We went another time and stayed at a hotel off the property. That was a good time too. Went and ate every night after we left the park. The last night we did that. We got to see a sight very few people see. The Blue Man Group was there eating with no makeup. We figured out who they were by their discussion. They were talking loud enough we could listen to them without trying to. You know, it wasn't an eavesdrop kind of thing for sure. All right, got a decent tin in there. I think that is about the right size. So we'll continue on with rounding this over. I do want
I
to
expect four bald guys.
No,
but
they're not bald. That's the
They're
funny
not
thing.
bald, right? Yeah.
No.
Lucy says Andy says hello, but he's gone to bed.
Oh, good night, Andy.
And she says that Disney is on her bucket list, but you have to buy a week or 2 week pass. And they want to do more than just Disney while in Florida. The last Disney place I was at was in France, outside of Paris.
Disney Paris, yeah. This had really deep bark on one side, so I'm still getting past all of that.
Now you still had a fair amount of the pith in there.
Yeah, right. I hadn't even started on the top yet.
Yeah, I usually come in from the left side so that I know where to aim my bottom up to, so to speak. Well, you're certainly getting nice shavings off it, so I imagine you remembered to sharpen your tools?
Yes, ma'am, I did. At least this one anyway. So I still got just a little bit there and a little bit there. I'd like to at least, well, I want to get both of them off. See, I've gone up just beyond. If I change my view, you can see exactly what I've done. I've got this ridge here, but that's just beyond where I want to be. I want to come down to here eventually.
No, that's why at that point I come in from the left side so that I know where to aim.
Right.
Paul says, sorry, being stuck in Disney for even a day would be like a living nightmare for me.
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of things in Disney now that weren't there when we were younger.
Disney World in Florida with there's 4 separate parks there. Is that right? 4 or 5 of them. It's the Animal Kingdom Park and the Studio
Magic
Park
Kingdom.
or whatever. Epcot. There were quite a few really interesting things that I enjoyed in Epcot.
Yes, Epcot to me is the nicer of the bunch.
I just like the whole concept of what Disney does for programs for kids.
Paul says if I want to stand in the queue, I'll wait for a bus.
Well, that's about the
Awesome.
truth of it. About the
Awesome.
truth of it.
And,
There
and
are times when that's what it is. You hurry to the next event or next attraction, and you wait in a line.
well,
That's
and
about where I want to be.
I haven't been in a while, but there's all these super passes or something, that you
Speed
can do.
pass, yeah.
Speed passes and different levels of those things where you can skip lines on one ride a day or two rides a day or go directly to the front. There's so many of those things that if you don't have them, the waits are pretty long. If you have a couple of those that you have to pay extra for, it
Yeah.
might be real enjoyable,
And
but real expensive.
you
Yeah,
have
Todd,
to schedule those too, and it's for most of us that's more of a pain than waiting in the line.
Todd says he'd rather be on a back road in the mountains of Colorado with few folks around. I would tend to agree.
Ah, yeah, we're on top. That's
Well, one thing, you'll have a lot of nice shavings to get rid of.
yeah, yeah. Hey, I want y'all to know all those resin shavings I had.
Yep.
I've still got shavings on the floor.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
You'll find some hanging from a light or something in a couple of months.
that's a possibility. Yeah,
Can
I've got
almost
that
guarantee that.
just about perfect right now. Where I put that edge, that's about right where I wanted it. So I'm tickled. This is working out. All right, I'm gonna make just a couple more passes here, then we'll fix the foot.
Now, out of curiosity, when you two do bowls, which way do you like your rim to angle? In, out, or just rounded?
Yes.
I like them angling in a little.
Yeah, it depends on the bowl, but 9 times out of 10, I'll have it angled in. If it's more of an artistic bowl, I'll quite often do it out. Um, Sometimes it just when it's very much a utility bowl, I will just round it. So it kind of depends on the bowl and what I intend it to be.
I like a little wider rim that I can put some color or an embellishment on and then undercut it a little bit. But I'm not good at the ratios on it, so I'm never happy with the way it looks. And I should get out the calculator and do the whole Fibonacci thing that Martin Saban Smith talks about. But I don't do that either.
I bought a pair of those calipers, and I'll be doggone if I can find them. I know they're here. Hadn't taken them anywhere.
And Heather and Karsten Peterson have joined us. Hi, Heather.
Hey,
Karsten.
Heather, Carson, how are you guys doing?
Karsten said he was watching some of the wedding video, and that was the first time he's seen foot washing as part of a wedding.
Yeah.
Is that something particular to that church's denomination?
No, not really. Um, they had both seen it at not in a wedding, but they had been to a camp where they did a really nice foot washing ceremony, and it just meant something to them. And they are both kind of in a servant minded place right now. And that's kind of what they want their ministries to be about. Their personal ministries is to be servant leaders. And so they just wanted to show that. Um, and it turned out extremely nice. You may or may not have seen their shoes. Here she has on this beautiful wedding gown, and you would think, okay, she's got on some real pretty shoes under there. Nope, she had on Chuck Taylor high tops and,
Hey,
and tan socks.
sounds good to me.
Oh yeah, she's my kind of girl. I'm telling you.
Now,
those those wedding days are not short, and you're on your feet a lot. I would hate to think that you would pick anything other than that if you can't see them.
and put it mildly, high heels are painful to wear. Now, Dale says that he and his wife spent one day in Jamestown visiting the I Love Lucy Museum, the house where she grew up, then 3 days in Niagara Falls and a day in Cooperstown at the Baseball Hall of Fame. That sounds like a good trip.
Yes, it does. I'm bouncing on something here. I'm gonna crank the speed up a little more. Finally, there's 900. No bouncing. Yahoo!
Lucy says that Gideon wants to go to NASA.
Hmm. I've got a very good friend whose daughter graduated from high school. She just she's getting married next month, I think it is. But she just landed a job with NASA down in Florida, and so they should be doing fairly well.
Well, Mike says the good news is his septicemia is clearing up and he should be back on the lathe next week. That is good news.
I was going to read that, but couldn't remember how to say septicemia.
Well, now you know. And Jason McGee has joined us. Hi, Jason. It's got to be pretty early in the morning for you.
How you doing, Jason?
Well, I know I don't wear high heels, and it wasn't until I was about 30 that I found out why.
Mm.
When I was a child, my legs from the knees down were all crushed, and the bones in my feet were all broken.
Oh my goodness.
And the first time the foot doctor looked at the x-ray, he said, "Well, I see you don't wear high heels." And I said, "Why do you say that?" He said, "It'd be a physical impossibility for you."
Mm. Mm.
And my mom used to have those really big high heels, and I tried wearing them when I was a kid and never could.
Right.
They were just way too painful.
When I met my wife, she wore high heels. She was either wearing flip flops or high heels. Um, and she got out of the high heels for some reason. In fact, she used to say she didn't want any shoes that had heels less than 6 inches. I thought that was a little extreme. But anyway, she finally got out of the high heels, and now she almost can't wear them.
Well, the big problem with high heels is that they cause your calf muscles to shorten,
Yes,
and over time that does some permanent damage.
sure does. Sure does.
Now, Lucy
I,
says that Gideon is creeping up to her height. She'll need a step stool to tell him off in a year or so.
oh, me. Well, if I put those in the right order. All right, I'll turn my speed down.
And Jason says that it's only 4:40 in the morning in Australia where he's at.
Got up early, did you? Or are you up late? Which way did it go this day, this time? Yeah, I was thinking about doing some coloring this week, but the piece of I've not been home, and the piece of sycamore I was going to use has not been cut. So Spoiler alert. That's what'll be next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a nice sycamore crotch sitting out on the carport, but it's got to be split and trimmed up before I can turn it. And it should have some nice figure that will color wonderfully.
Lucy was asking Jason where he's at. And Lucy, he's down in Adelaide.
I'm going to sand this pretty well, probably not perfectly. I'll probably come back and sand it in a day or two after it has time to dry out. But right now, there you go. You can see where it's starting to clog up my sandpaper already.
That's where that Abernet works really well.
Yeah, yeah.
And Karsten says the talk about wedding shoes reminds him of a couple his parents knew when he was young. They were avid hikers, so she insisted on getting married in her hiking boots.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the funniest things about the wedding. Her dad, who is a doctor, works in a hospital. When he's not at the hospital, it's rare that he puts on shoes. He goes barefoot year round. And so I don't know how it came up in the discussion, but she told him straight out, don't put shoes on. You don't wear shoes any other time, so I want you to be you. So don't put any on. And so he didn't. He was barefoot throughout the entire wedding.
And Rob from Copper Owl has joined us. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Copper. Well, hope that's it right there. I don't. Yeah, it might.
Heather says she wore flip flops.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Yeah,
on Saturday to Doug's son's wedding.
My wife had on heels. Mother of the bride had on heels. I took my shoes off at first, and my wife and son said, "No, put your socks on." So I was the only one in the suit, and other than the pastor.
Well, Mike said it's a good job. It's a good job. The father-in-law normally wears pants.
Yeah, yeah. He did wear pants and a shirt. He wore the same thing the groomsmen wore: pants and a shirt with suspenders and bare feet. Groomsmen all had shoes, but not the father of the bride.
Well, put him behind a lathe for a while, and he might change his mind.
Maybe. He is a character. He lived out in their backyard for like either 2 or 3 years. Made a little lean-to and lived out in the backyard. Came in to shower and he would eat with the family inside, but slept outside. Just kind of lived out there.
Presume his wife didn't join him?
No.
Mike says he watched a bit of the wedding. Was it in a barn?
It was a barn-like venue, yes. Yeah, pretty rustic, out in the middle of a pine forest there in the foothills of West Virginia. And yeah, any of you folks who watched any of the video, I apologize profusely for the sound, but there was nothing I could do about it. The sound equipment was all set up in the back of the room, and here I was in the very front, and it just picked up all the ambient noise, so there wasn't much to hear on the video. But it was a beautiful wedding. They did the braiding of the 3 cords. They did the foot washing. Wrote their own vows, which I wish those were audible. Their vows were beautiful.
Chris and Zed have joined us. Welcome, both.
Hey, guys. All right. Time has come. Time has come. Let's spin her around. I think this is going to be there's some of that purple that shows up in black walnut when it's fresh. It's kind of mixed in.
It's
It's
like
going to
we
be,
see green in it too.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely green. This tree was standing about a month ago and fell in a storm. Let me get some shavings out of my quill locator. Anyway, tree was standing, it came down in a storm. I went down and my son and I cut it up, and this is just one of the pieces that I brought home for myself. So the tree's only been down for a month total, and I'm excited to have it and to be able to turn it. We've got some sycamore down there that's not that old. I cut the tree down myself, so it's a matter of it's been delimbed. I've got to go down and cut the trunk up. I was telling Ruby earlier, I'm going to save most of the crotches. Tree grew on the edge of a group of trees in the midst of, well, it was in a small group of sycamores all growing together. And this was in the center, and it was the largest of the bunch. So, but it was growing straight, kind of shadowed. And so all the limbs come off the trunk. By the way, I was using a big bite, not a big bite, just a 2-spur drive
Mhm.
center on that. That was, it's made to go into a chuck. Does a phenomenal job on rough stuff like this, or if you're trying to hold it with the bark. Anyway,
Heather suggests editing the wedding video and have them do a voiceover reading their vows.
could. I could also type them into the comments,
Oh,
which that's what I was going to say.
ooh, that
off.
looks a little wobbly.
Just a little bit, not much, but it is off just a touch. Well, I'm going to leave it like it is for right this second. I'm going to flatten off the front first. That's 800 and it's still fairly stable.
Paul's asking how you'll prevent it from cracking.
Great question. I'm going to turn it relatively thin and let it do what it's going to do.
The secret there is to keep the thickness, the overall thickness, the same all the way through if you can.
And if you can turn it down, if you can turn it down less than 3/8 uniformly all the way through, it usually won't crack. It'll warp, but it usually won't crack. I may very well even boil this piece.
You could also put it in a large pail of alcohol.
Yeah.
And then let it dry. I don't advise drinking the alcohol afterwards.
No. No, that would be gross. That would be gross.
Mike suggested that you might pack it in resin shavings.
I've gotten most of the resin shavings out. There are still some on the floor. We've been talking about getting some of that pretty litter. We got one of our 2 cats has been having some urinary tract problems, and we've been talking about getting some pretty litter because it does change colors. You can kind of see what's going on a little bit. But that is awfully good for drying wood.
And Jason wants you to get a hold of him because he sent you a message email a couple days ago.
Yeah, I got it, Jason. I got it.
Okay.
I just haven't had the opportunity to do anything about it.
And Todd was mentioning to me that they age whiskey in wooden barrels. As a matter of fact, today when I picked up a job at the wood mill, I was looking at a wine barrel, and the inside color of the barrel was an absolute beautiful reddy purple color.
All right, I think it's starting to rain in my shop. This, it is. In fact, you can see the difference. That's dry. That's not. You see the demarcation line.
As it gets closer towards the end grain,
Yeah,
more moisture coming out.
Yep, it is. It's spraying me.
Well, good. You won't have to shower tonight.
Nope.
Zed says he can smell it from there.
Y'all can see the shavings coming out, but coming back toward me is this mist that I don't think y'all can see. Yeah, no, y'all see the shavings, but not the mist. There's a fine mist of water just spraying.
Paul was asking, don't they usually burn the inside of the barrel before they put whiskey in? And yes, they do, Paul.
Think we could see that mist from overhead, or I'm curious.
I don't know. We can try it. I don't know. It'll be coming out right in this. Well, yeah, right in this area if you can see it.
And Pete from Twisted Trees has joined us. Hi, Pete.
Hey, Pete. There wasn't much on that pass, unfortunately. Ah! There goes that flying. That was my tenon, though. It broke. It shredded right off.
Yeah, we can see it in the chuck.
Yeah, smooth as.
You were out of the line of fire, though. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It wasn't a whole lot of tenon to begin with, but okay, let's see.
You still
broke my
got that
rim too.
point in the middle?
Yeah, on the end. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can center it back up.
Oh, yeah. And there's that pith. Black walnut would have it looks like a worm going through there. It's pretty interesting looking. But anyway, yeah, let's see what we can do about getting that back on. Oh, I'll use that same 2-prong drive. Trick will be to center up the bottom again. We can get close for sure. Get that out of the way. Get my live center back in my. There we go. Now, there we go. Small design opportunity. I'm going to guess right about there. And then I'm going to say, nope, that's not it. That's pretty close.
I think you made Zed happy that he's not the only one to have faulty tenon.
Oh no, Zed, it happens. It happens. And with wet wood, seems to happen more often than not. Oh, that's not bad. We got it pretty close. Yeah, making a tenon in wet wood, and it's sapwood at that. It's not really surprising. I used to get all upset about stuff like that, but when you're working with a natural material, stuff's going to happen.
Yep, it does.
Yeah.
Not much
point in getting upset about it.
That's like sometimes there are shake cracks in the wood that you can't see and have no control over, depending on how the tree was felled.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't there when this tree came down, so I don't know how violently it hit the ground. But it was growing on the edge of a pond. Actually, it wasn't either. It was on the edge of a drainage ditch, which was on the far side of a pond. And the stump sunk down into the ground when it landed. So I think it hit fairly hard, but it wasn't a violent hit. Not like the sycamore was. The sycamore was fairly violent because the ground was dried. It didn't just lay over.
Enchanted Wood Designs has joined us. Welcome.
All right. Hi, Kevin.
And Karsten says he finally managed to turn a cover for a stainless steel mug insert today. That was his third or fourth attempt. So it was nice to get it done, but definitely a never again project. Oh, and Mike has given you fair warning, Doug. He says, don't do it again. We want a bowl, not a platter.
Getting some pretty nice shavings even at this point. I'm going to get my one of my skews, and we'll run it in the side here and just dovetail that just a little more than it is.
You're probably about finished there, but could we go to the tailstock view?
I don't know that you can see it because of the angle,
yeah.
but
that's a better view.
You can see the little, it looks like a little recess. That's where I flattened out. I've got to keep going so I can get a nice sharp corner here. There we go.
And Kevin says that you can even get the cracks from the wind pushing the tree over time.
Yes, absolutely. I'll clean this bottom up so it runs right into that quasi recess. I really don't want that there. There we go. We'll make a new foot. Went back and watched one of Martin Saban-Smith's old videos, and his concept and theory of a piece isn't finished until it's got a foot on it. More I have thought about it, more I like that idea. Just to give it a little bit of lift off of the surface of whatever it's sitting on, whether it's a table or a counter or.
Now, see, I was always taught you should make your bowl look like it goes down into the table, not sit on it. And Todd at Glen Cove says wind shakes can be troublesome, but chocolate shakes are awesome. Myself, I prefer strawberry.
As long as they're sugar-free, I don't care.
Zed says he agrees with the need for a foot.
Yeah, it's matter of desire. I used to make them with no foot, but try to come up with a bottom treatment, some where it met the where what it was sitting on. It should look like it was floating, is what I was taught. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but how do you do that without some kind of just something, just a small foot? Okay, what do we got to do to the top to fix it? Because it broke out. So
Ron said he thinks he sees some nice chatoyance in the wood.
I think there will be.
Ooh,
Hold
you just
on,
started
Doug.
wobbling. Oh, maybe that was just the.
It was that
your
broken
cut.
piece of edge. Yeah. Let's see.
The trick I was taught was when you're making that cut, when you get to the very end of it, if you lift the tool handle, it stops it from cracking out.
I'm bouncing on. I'm bouncing, I think, when it gets close to that pith. Let's see. I need to move that just a hair.
Maybe the overhead view would be better for us.
It probably would be. All we're doing is kind of straightening up.
Zed says that if he finds a foot helps deter future wobble. Somehow the
That's
foot doesn't warp as bad as a big flat.
right. Right. I should come bring this top edge in instead of going out. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're just about there.
Zed says that and a concave bottom means no scuffing his table.
That's right. Yeah, we're concave on the bottom. So, time to turn it around again. Maybe this tenon won't go anywhere. It's a little deeper. Little deeper. Of course, I put that away and I need it again. But that whole idea of not leaving the chuck key in the chuck. My hand's not on it. It's not staying in the chuck. And I still like to go around all the holes and just tighten with one hand. I'm pretty well assured that it's good and tight and locked in when I do that.
That's why on the lathe bed, just below the where the chuck is right now, I have a large magnet attached. And the chuck key just goes down and attaches right there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
close at hand.
I just added magnets like that to mine. I'm hoping I can get used to putting it there.
Yeah, I'm
You gotta
putting mine.
train yourself.
Yeah.
I'm putting mine between the ways. There we go. Yeah, every time you make a change, it takes a little while to kind of train yourself. Just getting myself used to putting my 2 chuck keys between the ways. Oh my goodness. For a little while there, I never knew where my chuck keys were.
Now, you don't
But
want to bring up the tailstock while you take out that center mass?
I might, but I might not. But right now I'm just sanding. This edge up here particularly had just a bit of tear out because of the changes.
Now, Kevin says when you have sapwood and then the harder wood, you can feel the tool cut change.
Yeah, and that's probably some of the bouncing that I was feeling.
And Zed says, think of all those hours of crawling around looking for the chuck key and the shavings that you'll miss out on if you use.
Well, yeah, you got something to, you got a point.
My lathe sits on like a tool bench with 4 drawers underneath. Narrow drawers. It was a tool chest that came from Harbor Freight. Not chest, but a tool bench that came from Harbor Freight with little drawers underneath the work surface of it. And my lathe that sits on there, if I put the chuck key in like you're doing, it hits about an inch before the stuff would hit on my on the ways of my lathe, and so it wants to like fall over and move. So what I do right now is I put it in that top left drawer with a bunch of other stuff. But inevitably, I won't close the dang drawer, and 30 seconds later, that drawer is full of shavings.
Yep.
Just like Zed was saying, right? Looking around for the chuck key in a pile of shavings inside of a drawer. And so I'm wanting to like keep that drawer shut a little more often and have that key outside. So I spend more time emptying those drawers.
Sure.
Because I can't shut them. I don't know what my problem is, but
well, Todd. Well, I wasn't gonna mention it, but
yeah, right. I mean, one of many. I understand. Yeah.
All right, just for
Ray from DACA Woods has joined us. Hi, Ray.
Hey, Ray.
Just watched a great video of his the other night.
And Kevin makes a point, the worst chuck to worry about were the ones that had the 2 metal bars for tightening. The old Nova chucks and some of the one-way chucks were like that.
Yep. I've still got a couple of those Nova chucks. And I really like them. You do have to pay attention to what you're doing and get them tight.
Well, I found if you need 2 hands to do up the chuck, where do you get the 3rd hand to hold the wood in place?
You bring up a great point, Ruby.
Somehow or another, I was born without that 3rd hand.
Where is that? Well, I've only seen my original here. In fact, that may be the only one I've got left. When I've got this chuck in, and there's one, there's the other hole.
Yep.
Line those up so you can see them both. When I'm using this chuck, what I do is my spindle lock is right here just behind the chuck. I hit that spindle lock, and then I only need 1 hand. I work this one only. If I want to take it off, I go to that hole. But if I'm tightening or loosening the chuck, that's the hole I use. And the spindle's locked, so it works perfectly.
And you still have to hold the wood against the chuck.
That's what my right hand's for. I tighten and loosen with my left hand.
I was searching my mind for the name of those little bars, and then
Tommy bar.
And Ray put it in the chat. Tommy bar for life.
Yeah.
Couldn't think of it.
Yep.
Ward Wilson's come in.
Hey, Ward.
Arizona.
Ray from Spun by Green Jeans has joined us also. I guess I could mention to Ward that if he wants to keep all that warm weather they're having, we won't object to him keeping it and not sharing it.
It's plenty warm here in Kentucky. I tell you what, humidity is awful.
And Ronald Todd says it might not be a bad idea just to cut the wood back with a saw instead of turning it down.
Now that it's all turned off.
Here's that. Well,
When it's green wood and it's turning easily like that, it's kind of
watch
fun to
back
turn.
over here. You may see the mist coming off this wood.
Yep.
Can you?
Looks like a droplet every once in a while.
Well, it's a mist.
Yeah.
Word is saying they were up to 117 Fahrenheit last
Oh my
week.
word.
No, thank
That's
you.
not right. There you go. See right between the bowl and my hand? That
Yes, a
looks
lot
like
of
a
mist.
cloud.
Yep.
That's water. If I was standing directly behind it, my smock would be soaked. In fact, I may have I've got a streak. You can't see it. It's going down the left side of my smock.
It was about 98 on Saturday here in
Wow.
the DFW area. I know that because the family and I, my wife, son, and daughter, were out there putting 12 gallons of stain on a fence.
That sounds like fun.
It was not. But now it's done and it looks really nice.
There you go. That's what matters.
And
All right.
Jason's saying that as of January next year, his products will be available in Scotland. And Ray says the green wood is the best. He was just turning some cherry that's only been down 2 weeks. Now, I have some new students coming in a couple weeks, and I'm going to have to find some nice green wood for them to do their first bowl with.
That'll make it a treat for them to learn on.
Yep.
I've done all I can do with the tailstock in the way. Come on. There you go. Give it a little more oomph. We're up to 1,000 RPMs now.
Did some of the rim of that bowl chip away again while we weren't looking?
No. It may be moving as we turn, Todd.
It kind of looked like it, Todd.
Yeah.
No, it hadn't chipped away. But you do have, look how wet that is.
I might have been seeing that from the side.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yep, that's what you were seeing. That dark. Yeah, I saw what you were seeing, but I knew it wasn't chipped. Oh, golly. Look at the water coming through right there.
That's awesome.
Centrifugal force is a wonderful thing. Drop that down just a touch.
Oh dear, Ray's got a whole trailer load of 36-inch diameter cherry logs. That would be great.
Are those the ones you had on that video a few minutes ago, Ray? About a 4-minute long video. That looked like some great wood.
And Enchanted Wood Designs makes a good point. You have to clean walnut, especially wet, off of your lathe bed to stop it from rusting.
he's got a lot of sapwood here, but that wood will stain it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't worry about staining on the bed, on the lathe at all. Rusting, yes. Staining, I don't care about.
Now, Zed says that the zombie bride accused him of stealing her thesaurus. Not only is he shocked, he's appalled, dumbstruck, and bewildered over this.
All right, I got to get rid of that vaccinator before it gets me. I'm about to work from that end of the bed a little more.
Maybe we should change camera angles then.
Yeah, probably should have a while ago. I changed to the overhead a while ago so y'all could see the
Well,
craziness that was going on.
I didn't want to
But
sound bossy telling you to change the camera all the time.
we all know you're so needy, Ruby. That's the problem.
Yep, that's true. I admit it.
Okay.
Ward says that he had a bed thesaurus. Not only was it terrible, but it was also terrible.
I like that. Karsten. My walk to the pub is about 10 minutes. The walk home is about 20 minutes. The difference is staggering.
Yeah, buddy.
That's a good one, Karsten. I like that.
Yes. Oh.
Kind of establishing my rim here. Then we can get serious about getting the rest of this turned out of here. I'm thinking this will be an awfully nice M&M bowl, so we'll make an inward sloping rim.
Todd says, in a major breakthrough, scientists have successfully grown human vocal cords in the lab. The results speak for themselves.
Hmm.
I like that.
Nice to see that some people still have a sense of humor.
Yeah. The number one follower. Yeah, I'm a little low.
Well, Zed was in the restaurant. He told the waiter he would love to see his lunch menu. The waiter said, "Sir, I just handed it to you." And Zed replied, "I know, I left my glasses at home."
Went down. Yesterday was my mother's birthday. We went down to visit. My sister and brother-in-law were there, and brother-in-law and I were out helping my dad. He's extending his shop, adding about 200 square feet. My brother-in-law goes to measure something. Couldn't see the tape measure. I said, "What's wrong?" I said, "I don't have my glasses."
Now, Doug, have you checked the depth of that bowl?
Oh, the depth? I'm not, but about halfway so far.
No, okay.
I'm going to check the wall thickness here in just a second.
Here's a good one for you, Doug. What do Easywood tool folks use for constipation?
Uh-oh.
A number 2 hollower, of course. I'll have to send that one to Doug.
Christy would like that.
Yeah, I'll have to remember the next time I demo Easywood tools.
Yeah, yeah.
And Johnny's Lathe Crafts has joined us. Hi, John.
What in the world is bumping? Oh, there's a tear out section right there. The edge of the heartwood and sapwood.
It looks pretty inside.
Oh, it
Yeah,
does.
that part that's facing down right now looks pretty wild.
Oh yeah, yeah. Where it transitions here, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, this is should be a good looking bowl.
And Karsten says that since we're down that road, did you hear about the constipated mathematician without a calculator? He had to work out his problems with a pencil.
Zed said, "Did you see there's a new movie called Constipation? Hasn't come out yet."
Here's for hoping it doesn't.
Mm.
All right, still got a lump right there. Ah, better. All right. Even with the carbide, I'm getting nice shavings coming out.
So you have that thickness the way you want it on the rim now up there?
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering, do you try to sand that a little now before it moves like crazy? Because it's probably going to move a lot, you think?
It probably is.
Of course, that might make it move more, heating it up a little with sandpaper.
It will. I'll tell you about it here in a second.
Well, you should be able to get a nice clean cut across it so you really don't even need sandpaper.
Okay. Yeah. Excuse me. That's what's coming off this carbide. You got to see this. You're going to love it.
And Karsten's off to bed and wishes you a good night time.
Thank you, Carson. Have a good night. That's water coming through because of the centrifugal force, or as they say across the pond, the centrifugal force. Sanding. Yes, I could sand that, and then if that was dry and I was going thin, I definitely would. I'm gonna wait. That's a terrible area, right? That one little spot right there, nothing but tear out. That wide. I'm gonna wait, and I'll slow it down and do it primarily by hand. Um, right now, I want to get as much of this wood out of here, really as quickly as possible, before it starts moving too much.
And Zed has commented that the bowl is striking, and I think he's right.
Thank you, Zed. Thank you, Ruby. Unfortunately, I can't lay credit for a lot of it. I can't design the grain. I've not figured out how to do that just yet. Looks like the center, I may actually go through all the color, or maybe partially through it and partially left some, leave some in, take some out.
Yeah, it looks like it's disappearing pretty quick.
Yeah, it is. Change over to my number one, or not the number one, the finisher, the original full size finisher. Dun dun dun.
Kevin says he sanded some thin wet pieces and the friction heated too much and caused it to crack.
Yeah, I started
It
thinking.
can. It can. I've done that more than once.
Zed says he's had wet walnut turn black from friction.
What do we got here? A lot of shavings.
I think you've got a lovely little bowl.
I've still got a lump right up in here that I need to get rid of. Other than that, it's not bad.
No, that bottom looks good.
Yeah, it does. It does. I want to mark this lump inside and out. Y'all remember a guy, Bob Hamilton?
Yes?
He was a Canuck, very good wood turner. It was real interesting. I'd been missing him. Went to look for him and searched out his videos again, and come to find out he had died several years ago. I was a bit upset about that. Turning this tool up on edge just a little bit, just to get slightly less aggressive cut on it. Makes it more of a negative rake.
Now, Kevin says he put a walnut piece in gallons of alcohol and a faceplate for weight, and was in a cabinet and he forgot about it. Took it out over a year later and it was ebony black.
Yeah, yeah. This cutter needs to be changed. I'm not getting the results I want, but it's getting what I need done. Oh yeah, a little sanding. I turned a wet walnut bowl, about as wet as this one, maybe wetter. It was a Christmas gift for some friends many years ago, and the first two attempts didn't get off the lathe. They warped so badly, they end up breaking themselves, and I was so upset. The third time, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning by then, and I got the bowl turned and sanded, and I was so happy. I gave that bowl to them, and the next October, she told me she was going to use it for her candy bowl for Halloween. Well, we went over to their house on Halloween night, took our son over there. They were very good friends. And, anyway, she had that bowl out full of candy. It was shaped like a football. Walnut, when it is wet, will warp light. Who'd have thunk it? Let's see. Let's put that on the drill and speed things up just a little bit.
Yeah, if you cut it, as Ron says, if you cut it too thin, it may warp a lot. So, and Jason suggests putting it in the microwave to dry it when you're finished.
And I have a question for the two of you, because I don't do a lot of wet turn stuff because I don't have a good source for. Well, actually, I have a source for it now, very recently. But when we get to this point and you're finished with this sanding, if you throw a wax finish on it, is that wax finish going to be enough to slow down the drying and keep it from warping and cracking as much?
It can.
Yeah, if you put it on thick enough, I just chipped that edge with sanding. happened to me last week. But it had those holes in it.
Well, you're not supposed to use 16 grit. Just because Pete likes to use 16 grit.
He hollowed out a whole bowl with 16 grit.
I saw that.
Last week you had a good excuse for the sandpaper catching.
Yeah, I know. I know. Got a couple of lines in here I'm after.
As Ward has mentioned, it's never too early to smash the like button. Please do.
Still an awful lot of tear out right there.
Yeah, on that very top edge, I would just take a nice clean cut rather than sanding it.
I'm sorry, what was that, Ruby? What was that you said?
I said on that top edge, if it's still chipped out, I would just take a nice clean cut and instead of sanding it.
The top
And-
edge as well as this tear out. I'm gonna come back with a sharp gouge, a little more speed than what I turned it originally at. Very light cut on that edge so that it doesn't explode.
Malcolm says he turned a walnut hollow form to about 3 millimeter wall thickness and it didn't move at all. That was his first wet turning and first hollow form. Well done, Malcolm. And Ray says he'll often turn green, sand and use abrasive paste and put the carnauba wax over it with good results. It warps some, but not radically, like microwaving does.
Yeah, that's along the lines of sort of what my question was leading towards there.
See if that's doing any good. Yeah. Let's get most of that tear out of there. In fact, let's go over to the 60-degree grind.
The bottom feeder type of gouge is new to me. I had a bowl that was pretty messed up about a month ago, and so I just took that thing and practiced my cuts until I made a funnel, and then made it thinner and thinner up to the funnel hole until I thought I was going to hit my chuck, just trying to practice.
Right. It's a great tool. In fact, and Ruby, I'm sure, remembers when I started, that was the only grind you could find in a bowl gouge. You go buy a bowl gouge, it had that grind on it. And then Ellsworth came out with his, and
Well, actually, Liam Nielsen in Ireland came out with it first.
yes.
And Mark, the gentleman wood turner, has joined us. Hi, Mark.
Mark. All right, I think I got it to where it's sandable now. That made all the difference in the world. Turn my speed back down.
So that sanding earlier was just practice sanding.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
No,
It's like taking
it was.
practice cut.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. You can see it right there. Light coming through.
Yep,
Yep.
I see it.
I got a little thin. Darn it.
Ooh, you just poked
Darn it.
more of it out.
It was sand or sawdust that was in there. Rats. Rats.
Ray says he started playing with his bottom feeder on the outside of bowls for good finishing push cuts.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this.
You're going to fill that hole with resin, right, Doug?
Maybe at some point. Not at this point. Not at this point.
Get the Dremel out, make that thing a little bigger, put a hook in it, and tell everybody you were making a yarn bowl.
There you go.
It's all your fault, Todd, because you started talking about funnels.
And I'll tell you, as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, I jinxed him.
No. No. I knew it was thin. I was trying not to go through, and I did anyway. This is the axe first step, which is a tung oil paste. Not meant to be a finish, but feed the wood and just be a first step in the finishing process. Of course, your sanding is your first step, but this will seal the wood, put some moisture, some oil type moisture back in the wood. Typically, you let this sit for about 15 minutes or so. And then you come back with, there we go, a paper towel. And take off the excess. And once you've done that, if you have the time and you can let it sit for about 2 hours, it won't be dry, but it'll be relatively dry. Come back with the abrasive paste then and take it up to roughly the equivalence of 1,000 grit, as with most abrasive paste. Again, I use the axe because they help me out. They're in Pennsylvania. They're good people. They help me out, and I like to help them out. Anyway, you can see there's the white, the brown of the typical walnut. Over here, it's still green and in a darker, almost black, a little purplish right through there. Lots of beautiful colors there. But we will. I'm going to let that sit now. I'm going to contemplate this opening. It's not there. You can't see it at all.
Mark said, Doug, see now, if you'd bothered to come to my bowl turning masterclass on Sunday, you'd have learned not to do that. Just saying.
It's just one of those things, you know. I don't get too upset about it. I wish I hadn't gone through it. As soon as I saw it, I thought, oh man. But it gives an opportunity for some fill-in, whether it's epoxy or this product I've used in the past, Resincrete. I kind of like it. It's neat stuff. Anyway, you take that off and you can see it a little better. A little more. You have it. Change the camera. Think. There we go.
Boy, you can see that thin area all the way around it when you're moving it. The light behind it's coming through.
Yeah, there's a nice streak.
Nice streak.
Almost all the way around. It stops when you get there. That's that nice dark area, but it's a nice ball. It's a nice ball. But like I think you're right, Todd. Take a Dremel and open that area up a bit, and that'll give me a little more wood for that stuff to stick to. Whether I use epoxy or the resin-crete, either one. So anyway, there you go. That's wet wood for you. It'll surprise you. And then once it's all done, then we take the tenon off, typical way. I might need to do a demo of taking that off. I hadn't done that in a long, long time, but we'll do that. Anywho, there you go, folks.
No,
Wet.
thank you, Doug. That's a lovely piece of wood.
Wet walnut. It is wet. And this will warp like gangbusters. So whatever I put in here will have to be able to resist the warpage. So it may have to be epoxy. They have to be. Stinky old epoxy. Yuck. Stuff stinks. Anyway, there it is. It's brown. It's round. Well, it's somewhat brown. It's brown and white. And somewhat round at this moment. It may not be for long. So, guys, thank you all so very much. Let's see. I'm on the wrong screen here. Get there. Then I can hit that button. And then there I can see Ruby and Todd again. And I can say, guys, thank you all so much for being with me today, for helping out. Appreciate you as always. Not sure where Mr. Wayne is today, but I'm sure he had a good reason not to be here. It's been good. It's been
Woo! Hopefully that was just a cough and not walnut dust.
No, it's not walnut dust. That's a remnant from whatever that flu was I had last week. Last Monday, I was sick as a dog. I got on here, didn't cough. As soon as I turned the cameras off, had a fit. Lasted about 10 minutes. Did not cough through the wedding. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
But yes, it's still around. Anyway, told Ruby a while ago I've checked my schedule for the next couple of weeks. And for the next 2 weeks anyway, I am off on Tuesday, so I will be here. Look forward to it. Next week, we should be able to turn that piece of sycamore crotch. May put a little color on it for a little added fun. Todd loves that color. But yeah,
Man,
on a piece of crotch wood, that color will set the crotch figure off like gangbusters. Can't wait. That should be a lot of fun. So with that being said, I'm going to say good night, and I'm going to let these guys say good night, and then we're going to go.
Good night. Thanks, everybody.
And thanks for coming along, everyone.
All right. Till next week.